Tonight we're going to have apple bacon stuffed pork loin, and what I'm going to do is use my apple pillar quarter slicer from KitchenAid to slice the apple. So I'm going to go ahead and pause because it's really loud when I turn it on. I got some comments about that, so I don't want to like wake you up or anything when the machine comes on. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so it peeled it, and it cored it and sliced it. So whenever it slices, it stays in a slinky type way. So to get those separated, all you have to do is cut one side, and then it separates all the slices. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it. This is the first time I used it, so thanks for joining me in my first attempt at using my KitchenAid corer. It will come in handy when I start canning apples and making apple pie fillings, and then I don't have to do it by hand anymore. So anyway, I'll be right back with the dinner recipe. Alright, so the bacon, I need to turn it over, so I will be right back. But what I'm going to do is put the apples in lemon water so they don't turn brown, since we're still waiting on the bacon. Alright, so I'm going to finish putting the apples in the lemon water. So if you have Sprite or Mountain Dew or anything that has the lemon juice in it or acid, then you can use that. So because it prevents the apples from turning brown while you're waiting for other things. And I cooked the bacon in the oven for 10 minutes at 400 degrees, and then I flip it, and then 10 more minutes, and then it's about the crispiness I prefer, and then you can save the grease. And but I like cooking it in the oven better because there's not grease popping everywhere and you don't get burnt. And so you know, I'm not a fan of getting popped by bacon grease. So anyway, I just put it in the oven, and so we got a few more minutes for it to cook, and I will be right back. So lemon juice, I forgot to mention that what I do is when I run out of juice, I go buy more lemons, and I put them through the juicer attachment of my KitchenAid food processor, and so that way I have juice readily available, and it lasts quite some time. I wouldn't keep it over 2 weeks because then it starts going bad, but anyway, so that way you have fresh lemon juice all the time, and I use it to make lemon drinks and like lemonade, or add it to some soda stream seltzer water to you know, liven it up a little bit. And anyway, so that's how I do my lemon juice. I'm not a fan of the lemons in the plastic bottle or the bottle of it, because I don't know if you've read the ingredients on that. But you know, sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. And one of the things we're having tonight with dinner is stovetop stuffing, so you know, that's not healthy. But it is a Friday night and I'm tired, so we're just going to make the big to-do with the pork chops, or the pork loin, and get that stuffed and get it going. So just a few more minutes on the bacon, and I'll be right back. While we're waiting for the bacon to finish, I'm going to cut up a shallot. So a shallot is like an onion, but it's sweeter and milder. Onions pack a punch, but shallots melt into whatever you're making. So I'm just going to go ahead and dice this up. And but I just wanted to explain the difference between a shallot and an onion for you. Alright, so I'm done cutting up the shallot, and yes, they make you cry just like an onion does. So what I'm going to do now is, I've already added salt and pepper to the pork. I'm just going to put some rosemary, sprinkle rosemary over it. Give it some flavor. Like I mentioned the other day, I get my rosemary and other seasonings from the produce section where they sell the herbs, the organic herbs, and I buy those typically on clearance, and then I bring them home and dry them out in the oven at 170 degrees for 2 hours, and then I have fresh, pretty green herbs and spices. So I just prefer to do it that way. Yeah, I have a ton of spices, but I like to do that too. It's fun and more fresh. So anyway, so the bacon's done. I only need 4 slices of it. But what I do is I cook the whole package and then use what I need, save the bacon grease, and then we have bacon already cooked for BLTs, and I don't have to have the lingering odor of bacon in the house multiple times, just once. So, all right. So one of the things that my friends showed me is, thanks Tony, Trudy, Joey, Rachel, is this Dawn Power Wash. It's so good for stuff like this with this cooked on bacon grease. You just spray this on there and let it sit, and it does the cleaning for you. So whenever you come to clean it, it just wipes right out. So I'm going to do that to the other pan, but this stuff is really cool. I use it all the time, and it smells really good. So when I use stuff like garlic or onions, I usually wash my hands with this because it takes the odor away. So because of the fresh scent. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that and my friends. So, all right. So what I've done is I got my Dutch oven, and I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the bacon grease. And then we're going to cook the shallots and the apples and the garlic in the bacon grease. Now you can save this for later. It's not that much. When you bake it, it seems like you have a lot less grease than when you fry it. So here's the shallots. I diced them up pretty fine. That way they melt into the food a little better and give it more flavor instead of crunchy onion or crunchy shallot. And then we're adding 2 garlic cloves. And then we're going to add the apples as soon as these turn translucent and get a little more done. So it'll be a couple minutes for that to happen. So I will get back with you as soon as I add the apples. So when you're doing this, you want to cook it in a Dutch oven or an oven-proof skillet, because as soon as we get everything done cooking, we're going to put it in the oven for like 15 minutes and bring it to temperature, because the temperature should be 145 degrees. So we're just going to like sear it after we stuff it, and then, but I just wanted to let you know you need to do it in a oven-proof pan, so you're not dirtying too many dishes. But anyway, sorry I didn't mention that in the beginning. Alright, so I misguided you a minute ago. We are going to use the remaining bacon fat whenever we sear the pork chops. Sorry about that. So now we're going to add the apples. What I did was I put them on a paper towel, because if you put the wet apples in the bacon grease, it's going to pop everywhere. Now it probably will still pop, so I'm going to go ahead and mute it while I do that, because it's really loud if I keep the sound going. That wasn't so bad. Alright, so I'm just going to cook the apples for a little bit and get them softened and get the flavors melted together. And then I'm going to add the chopped bacon. So I already crumbled up the bacon, so I'm going to add that in a few minutes, and then we'll stuff the pork chops. Alright, so now we're going to take the apple mixture and the bacon. I took it out of the skillet because of course it's going to be hot. So I let it cool a little bit, and then we're going to stuff the pork chops with this, and then we're going to put it back in the Dutch oven. We're going to add the bacon grease and fry it up, sear it, and then we're going to leave it in the Dutch oven, cover it, put it in the oven. But I just wanted to go ahead and start stuffing this. What you do is you take the pork loin or the pork chops and you butterfly them, and then you spread this evenly. So the pork loin is kind of a weird kind of thing, so all the pieces are different sizes and stuff, so I'm just going to add it as it fits. So alright, so hopefully it'll work out well, and if not, we will have a good dinner anyway, even if it does fall apart. But you know, that's what happens when you're experimenting and learning new things. Alright, so I'm adding the last bit of bacon grease. It should be about a tablespoon back into the Dutch oven. And then we're going to swirl it around. Sorry about that, I lost my spatula. Swirl it around. And then we're going to set the pork chops down in there. So what I did was, after I stuffed them, I folded the other half over, and we're just going to put it down in there. And if apples fall out or the bacon falls out, you can try to stuff it back in there. It might stay, it might not, but hey, at least it'll be in the pan, right? And one of the things is, please don't lick your fingers when you're done, because this is raw pork, so that would be bad. As tempting as it may be, because you got bacon on your fingers. So funny thing about bacon is, I did not like bacon, gosh, up until at least maybe, I don't know, 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden my taste changed, and now I put it in almost everything. It's crazy. Even my grandkids are like, Nana, you like bacon now? And so I encourage them, saying, yes, I do. Because your taste changed. So that's why you always have to try new things. Trying to encourage them to eat more than the average kid food. Anyway, so over Christmas, they came and they'd never had turkey tetrazzini, so I made turkey tetrazzini, and they loved it. Even one of the kids that doesn't like to try new things, he tried it. He ate about 4 bites of it, said it was good, and he was done. But hey, at least he tried it, and they all tried it. One of them had 2 plates full, and then also had it for breakfast the next day. So he really liked it. And then all the others, they would like it. It was okay. But at least they tried something new, right? So anyway, I'm going to let this fry. I'm going to flip it in a minute, and then I'm going to come back and then just throw it in the oven. I actually have 2 oven racks. So I have to take one out because this doesn't fit when the lid's on it. So anyway, so I got to take that out and take it out into the 5-degree garage, which it should cool down pretty quickly. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, so this is ready to go in the oven. It's going to be 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, and I'm going to temp it. The temp should be 145 degrees for pork. And then when it's done, so I'm going to go ahead and make the stuffing that I mentioned, and then we're just probably going to have a lettuce, tomatoes, garden salad kind of thing for dinner for easiness. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope, if you did, I hope you like it. And then remember to subscribe. Alright, thank you folks. Talk to you later. Sorry. I thought I paused. Alrighty, so here we have the stuffed pork. Next time I think I'm going to put skewers in it to hold it together better. So if I do that, I will explain how to use the skewers. Anyway, so there's the pork loin and the stuffing and the lettuce and tomato. I'm going to get out the salad dressing and the cheese. And I hope you all have a great Friday evening. Thank you, and remember to like and subscribe.